Hey again, guys, David Carley with davidcarley.com and Entrepreneur MD on the DKTV network. So we're going to talk about 5 tips for creating wealth and then ultimately sustaining your wealth, equally as important. Number one, I think probably a significant number one above all the others, cash flow is king. You've not heard this for the first time. A lot of people are talking about this. Very, very true. Where is your investment going? So number one, invest in things that are going to continually produce cash. Cash flows coming in, not sitting on a nest egg, chipping away at it, hoping that it will last till you die, which was the traditional model. Cash is king, cash flow. Think about that when you're thinking about investments and building wealth. Number two, you have to get comfortable with risk, and you're going to have to take some risk in order to build wealth. Ultra-conservative platforms will produce conservative results. Now, risk certainly can be managed, and you've got to be smart when you're evaluating opportunities to build wealth from a risk perspective. Don't be stupid. Of course not. You want to be smart. You want to look at that from a critical perspective. But you have to get comfortable, and ultimately you're going to have to take some risk. Number three, pay attention to your money. I must admit, at times I've been guilty of this. I wasn't paying enough attention to where money was going, and it can dry up real quick if you're not paying attention to it. So focus and think about money. You have to think about your money, where it's at, where you want it to be, and then plans from getting to A to B. I'll give you an example. I have a family member who worked his whole life. He put 3 kids through college. He had a financial advisor. He put money away his entire career, and he felt he had enough money to retire until he died. Well, guess what happened? 2008. He just lost 50% of it. Now he finds himself in a position where he didn't have 50% of what he thought he was going to. Tough position to be in, because that old strategy, which is now antiquated, focuses on generate a nest egg and then chip away at it without ongoing cash flows coming in. Don't make that mistake. Cash flow is king. Pay attention to your money. Next, expand versus contract. So when you're thinking about this, we're an entrepreneur TV network, right? Entrepreneurs can't always self-fund ventures. I've tried to self-fund mine as far as I possibly could, but eventually, if you're successful, you reach a critical mass where you have to start thinking about taking on other types of income, other types of resources, whether it's debt or investors or partners or whatever. It's uncomfortable to the investor. You want control. You don't want dilution. But at some point, you have to think about scale. Right? If you stay small, ultimately your income potential remains small. In order to grow, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone, and you have to consider taking on the risk of debt, the risk of partners, the risk of all those things. So choose wisely, but you have to think about doing it. So contract is not the way to go. You want to expand when you think it's safe to be small. Nope, contract, expand. That's the way to build wealth over time. Number 5, think both short and long term, right? Antiquated strategy, think about your retirement. Think about when you want to stop working at 65, 70, etc. Build a 401k or a retirement plan to get there. Guess what? That's not cash flowing. 3-4% return on some conservative 401k or retirement plan is not going to get it done. So you have to think about the short term. If you're an entrepreneur, how do we build wealth over the short term? But also think, as you're doing that, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Guess what? People who get rich quick also can lose it just as quickly. So think short term and think long term. So let's go through them again. Number 1, cash is king, cash flows. Think about cash flows as you're investing in building wealth and sustaining it. Number 2, you have to get comfortable with risk. At some point, you're going to have to take some risk. It's uncomfortable, but you have to do it. Manage it, be smart, do your homework. Number 3, pay attention to your money. It's so easy to get too busy to look at where your money is, where your financial portfolio and where your financial position is. Pay attention to it. Foster it. Make sure you're not losing control of it, or it'll go away from you quickly. Number 4, when you feel like contracting, think about expanding. I'm stealing that from Cardone a little bit. That's one of his terms, but it's one I've always really liked. When you think it's time to stay small, maybe think about getting big. That's the way to accrue and amass wealth, and then thinking that way long term, especially if you have multiple ventures going, is a way to build a sustainability model to keep that money coming in, keep those cash flows coming in. And number 5, think both short term, how do I get from A to B, and then long term, how do I sustain it when you're thinking about investments or a business, or what type of resources you want to pump into your business. If you want to learn more about how I've done it, check out davidcrowley.com. Also, lots of content on Entrepreneur MD and the GCTV network. Best way to get in touch with me is through davidcrowley.com. Love to talk to you more about it.